The last delivery. Helmet cam footage. Gig app courier. Recovered from ridercam_1031.mov. Location: East River District. Halloween night. Heavy rain. Note: helmet feed. Audio distortions. App overlays. 0 hours. Camera boots up. Rain needles the lens. Streetlights smear into comets. The courier breathes through a neck gaiter, fast and measured. There's pop-up Halloween decor everywhere. Inflatable pumpkins slouched against wet porches. A 12-foot skeleton blinking water from its eye sockets like a tired lifeguard. The app overlay hearts. The rider's on a streak, with a confetti animation that looks obscene in the weather. 1:19 hours. GPS sync begins. Order number 6. Late night foe ticks down. The chat thread reads, "Leave at door. Please don't ring. Night shift sleeping." The rider texts a thumbs up emoji, finds a dry takeout bag already on the mat, sets their delivery beside it, photographs it, the app accepts. Tip updates, plus $6.66. 3:51 hours. Route rerouting begins. GPS reroutes. Order number 7 pings. Northbridge Center, Unit C. Hospital wing. Surge pricing pulses. Times 2.5 boost. Limited couriers after midnight. The rider's phone buzzes with a text from a roommate. "You out in this? Come home, dude. Streets are weird AF." Rider voice texts a response. 2 more and I'll bail. I'll be okay. 7:41 hours. Arrival at Northbridge Center. Rider wheels in, pushes vestibule. Delivery. Northbridge Center sits like a molar in the gum of the city. Half the letters are out. The lights only light up the letters N, T, H, B, D, G, and E. The rider rolls into the drop-off loop. Security glass is lipsticked with condensation from the inside. Halloween stickers still cling to revolving doors. A cat that should be cute, but whose pupils are absolutely wrong. The rider pushes the vestibule door. It was unlocked. They call out, "Delivery." Their voice sounds too alive in the dead building. The camera then pans the lobby. It's an art installation of paper cranes. Thousands of strings tangles from a collapsed anchor point so they look like a school of dead fish mid-air. Then the app vibrates. "Leave at nurse's station C. Don't knock." The rider huffs. "Okay then," the rider whispers to themselves. 12:21 hours. The hallway lights flick to life in polite segments as the rider pedals slowly, tires hiss on linoleum. Halloween door clings, bats. Little bleeding moons peel themselves and plop wetly to the floor as if embarrassed to be festive. The nurse's station C appears, a horseshoe with monitors asleep and one computer dreaming. The screensaver is a field in summer, tossing long grass. A wrapped sandwich sits there with a post-it note saying, "Kayla, do not touch." The rider sets the faux bag down, takes a photo, then the app glitches. It says photo failed, then reaccepts the same frame, except when the photo flashes back as proof, the sandwich is gone. The post-it note curls. On the counter, something darker than condensation traces a fingertip message. "Leave it in the elevator." 16:41 hours. Elevator summons automatically. The elevator dings. Down the hall opens up, empty, like a lit chapel. The rider laughs to themselves, because fear is easier if you act like you're always in on the joke. The rider whispers to themselves, "All right, Kayla, you win, homie." They wheel the bike inside, press B for basement out of morbid curiosity. Then, footage shows them hitting closed door in the elevator, as if rushing to find what's on the end of this escapade. The door is still, as if considering. Map overlay blinks a new route, B9, dietary services. However, there is obviously no B9. 2011 hours. Elevator descent commences. Descent feels like sinking in a bath that's too hot. The rider films the panel. Numbers shrug by B1, B2, B3, until the camera turns involuntarily toward the stainless steel door, where in the brushed metal, a plastic mask's suggestion seems to ripple and settle in the reflection. "Hey, The rider says to no one, and laughs because now the joke is meaner. B9 opens on a corridor of vending machines. Their LED guts light the hall like aquariums. All the selections are the same meal, Halloween special, return to body, with a nutrition label that lists air, quiet, and warmth as macronutrients. The rider says nope to themselves quietly. Their breath becomes a fourth ingredient fogging the glass. A voice over the intercom, taped and retaped, says, leave it in the elevator. 26:01 hours. Unscheduled delivery completion. The rider sets the pho in the elevator, intending to back out and run. Doors tug. Something like gratitude sighs through the vents. Then the app pings. Delivered, plus $66.60. Rate your drop-off. The rider's balance climbs obscene. Then the phone buzzes. New order. A picture of a cast with signatures. A childish grin in Sharpie doodles, labeled Jenna wants tea. The rider's finger hovers on the word decline. However, it lands on the word accept, like it was choosing its own. 31 hours. Tea preparation sequence. Kettles with mouths open, like fish, cups staring up, sachets stacked like patient charts. The rider's hands start to visibly shake. Water boils. It always boils. That's what water does. And the sound is like applause far away. On the wall, someone has scratched the words, stand where you are, and we will come to you. The rider sets the tea down and waits, because the night has rules you learn by not dying. Footsteps come in pairs, youth and echo. The camera stays on the cup as the string trembles and then goes still. A hand enters frame, gauze wrapped. It's careful. Then, it takes the tea. No face. A whisper like someone speaking into a coat. Thank you. 36:41 hours. Extraction attempt. Back in the lobby, the rain has thickened to gelatin. The rider wipes the lens. The app says, shift complete. Now, go home. The total glows like a dare. The rider mounts the bike. In the vestibule glass, dozens of reflections of them sit on dozens of bikes, each choosing differently. Left, right, linger. The one that leaves glances back and sees the paper cranes rise a fraction, as if on a breath. Then, the feed cuts in a clean, almost loving fade. Postscript. File metadata. Account deactivated for irregular route compliance. Balance paid. Helmet shipped home with a sticker. You delivered. Mall after dark. Security CCTV compilation. Compiled from cam_11_10 31_secure.zip. Security DVR from Shuttered North Lake Mall. Location. Closed retail mall slated for redevelopment. Seasonal pop-up Halloween store still has inventory. One guard on duty. Note. Split screens, time-stamped. Occasional guard voice memos overlaid later for an HR report. 0 hours. Surveillance feed initialization. Cam 11 shows the food court under dialysis lighting. Everything washed, low, humming. Napkin dispensers breathe when the AC cycles. A single balloon, black says BOO in orange, has half deflated into a sad brain. In the wide shot, only one thing moves. A kiddie ride shaped like a pumpkin carriage, rocking itself in microgusts. 2:11 hours. Guard check-in log begins. Voice memo. Andre V. Chief, this is the overnight. We got 3 homeless, 1 raccoon, and a spirit pop-up closed with inventory. I'm making rounds. Cam 09 stutters. A witch standee shifts sideways and rights itself. Cam 07 claw machine cycles and goes dark. On Cam 11, for 1 frame, there are more chairs around the central tables. 5:31 hours. Patrol on level 2 begins. The guard crosses Cam 11 with a flashlight cone like a comet tail, pauses at the balcony edge, points the light at a carousel horse relic. Cam 02. A person in a hospital gown stands beyond the sensor's range, cheap plastic mask. When the beam sweeps, the figure is gone, replaced by a rolling garment rack. 10:41 hours. Motion trigger event detected. In the Spirit Store, Motion OS triggers a looping device. An animatronic Reaper wakes and croaks its phrase, "Leave the car." The guard notes it, smirks. Camera follows on a delay, producing a duplicate guard ghost for a breath. Cam 11 picks up a group of teens at the locked gate, testing the chain with curious hands day or night. They film themselves on phones. A text banner reads, "Live at midnight, #Urbex." They vanish between cuts. Later, Cam 05 shows 5 paper shopping bags riding an escalator alone. 16:01 hours. Unauthorized entry detected. Guard voice memo. Weird announcement just came over the PA. Not our system. Said, "Group in the dark meeting in the atrium." Funny, Cam 11 shows chairs multiplying around the fountain. Reflections on kiosk glass show silhouettes where none sit. The fountain sputters. A witch hat floats in the basin. Cam 04. Mural shows added sharpied hands with unnaturally long fingers that twitch under the guard light. 23:21 hours. Public address interference. The balloon now reads O. The food court TV turns to static, then to a screensaver of crane-filled skies, then black. Cam 11 zooms, no operator present, into the Spirit storefront. Behind the mesh gate, a Polaroid is taped to the register. A kid with a cast, Sharpie doodles. The film breathes, and the kid waves once. The guard, softly, "Good night, Jenna." 30:01 hours. Static distortion increases. The balloon from earlier now reads, "Ooh, the B has now been peeled off. No long spelling the word boo. It is stuck to a lens elsewhere. It's been stuck to Cam 12. The food court's TV, which has never been used, has now turned to static. Then changes to a screensaver of crane-filled skies. The same field from Northbridge footage. Then the screen goes black. The guard mutters to himself, "Nope," in a very human, alive voice. A final cut. Cam 11 zooms, no operator present, into the Spirit storefront. Behind the mesh gate, a Polaroid has been taped to the register. On it, a kid with a cast smiles, Sharpie doodles thick as armor. The film breathes, just a trick of heat, and the kid waves once. The guard says to himself, in a softer tone, "Good night, Jenna." He doesn't know why he says the name. 36:41 hours. Final guard report recorded. Cam 11 records the food court at 3:03 a.m. Chairs scrape by themselves into a circle. A red emergency light flickers to life above them, bathing the scene in afterheart color. For 90 seconds, the mall looks like a cathedral. Then, every chair returns to its place with the courtesy of a waiter. The balloon finishes its death, then kisses the floor. Postscript, HR review, and closing log. Voice memo. Chief, minor break-in, no damage. Recommend leaving one chair in the atrium out of rows for, I don't know, morale? Cam 11, last frame. Halloween signage stays. The camera goes to snow, then to a polite blue, as if it has decided morning has arrived. Below the gate, Public Works body cam footage storm crew recovered from PW Drain _Unit B31 _October.bc. 3 synced body cams, Department of Public Works. Location, Storm Culvert Network under a New England town, Halloween nor'easter. Note, water roar, helmet lamps, clipped professional banter degrading into hush. Captions occasionally overlay an engineering font. 0 hours. Body cams activated. Cam A. Ray, crew lead, shows cones on a flooded road, a manhole yawning like a throat. Rain bounces high enough to look like reverse fireworks. A homeowner in a devil costume, still partially on from a party, thanks them with pumpkin cookies no one will eat. Ray says, "We'll be quick. Watch the shoulders." Cam B. Lewis descends first, lamp cutting a zipper of light through the fogging steam. The ladder trembles like vertebrae in a spine. Graffiti at the bottom. Gate 1. Don't open. Happy Halloween. With a smiley face that bleeds. 3:11 hours. Initial inspection. The culvert is a concrete artery. Water shoulders past calves. Ray then logs. It's 2:17 a.m. Gate 1 is jammed. Debris load. High. Cam C. Mara, a seasonal hire studying civil. Swings to catch something in the flow. Foil ballon shaped like a skull. One eye deflated. Bobbing like a passenger who missed their stop. She stamps it aside. It sputters a laugh on release. 8:21 hours. Gate 2 reached. Gate 2 appears in lamp cones. A steel guillotine gummed with leaves and branches. Something pale is caught. Fabric, maybe, or paper cranes collapsed into a wet braid. Mara reaches, pulls a string of paper birds, completely ruined. A child's black nail polish is on one beak. Who throws craft time down here? She asks to herself, half disgust, half pity. Then she freezes. Just beyond the gate, in an air pocket, a face looks back. Not a person, but a mask. A cheap mask made of plastic. It looks generic. It turns. The eye holes drift to a line as if the water is choosing where to look. Ray says, forget it, focus. Mara leaves it. It floats along the far side of the grate, like a moon following a car. 14:41 hours, audio anomaly detected. They lift the gate. Hydraulics whine and silt belches. The roar changes timbre. Ray radios. Gate 2 clear. Comms reply like an empty room. Radios fail to handshake. Crew opts to shout. A knee-high tunnel spur is found stenciled. Return path. 31 hours. Discovery of uncharted tunnel. They crawl on belly and elbows. The cameras rattle. Capture flashes. Beer cans. A lanyard with a North Bridge on it. A single high heel and a toy snake. The tunnel opens into a chamber that shouldn't be there. Round, brick, Victorian. Drips sound like slow clocks. In the center, on a concrete slab, sits a service elevator car. Alone, without a shaft. Then, the doors open, offering orange light as if plugged into a different city. On the wall it says, "Stand where you are," chalked in urgent child letters. They stand. A breeze saunters through. The elevator hum raises hairs. Its light warms without heat. The body cams quiver, autofocusing, breathing. Down the side of the car, scratched through the paint, it says, "Don't leave the car." Ray snorts. We are absolutely leaving the car. 28:01 hours. Entry into unknown chamber. Mara reaches past the threshold to test the floor. A hand closes over hers. Small, gloves, gauze wrapped. She yelps loudly. The hand squeezes once, human reassurance, and retreats. The camera catches only the aftermath. A damp palm print evaporating like a ghost sits down. Luis whispers a prayer he learned as a kid, in Spanish, simple and intact. Ray then laughs too loud, and then apologizes to the air. "We're cleaning debris," she says to the camera, and to the thing behind the doors. "That's our job." 31 hours, contact event. They back out. The elevator room exhales. Chalk marks glow faintly. "We hear you" becomes "We're here too." Water drops faster at gate 2. A girl's laugh Dopplers past. Ray says, "Halloween." The mask beyond the grate flips, face down, riding the current. 10 hours. Exit protocol initiated. The crew surfaces at 3 a.m. Thunder moves off. A row of paper cranes has caught on the ladder rungs in tidy succession, like breadcrumbs. Ray leaves them. Luis pockets the lanyard. Mara, who will sign a full-time offer in spring, writes, "We opened a stuck gate, that's all. Also, we waited when the wall told us to, and the night waited back." The footage ends with their boots squeaking on wet asphalt, returning cones to a straight, honest line. Post-incident summary. Case logged as gate obstruction cleared. No irregularities reported. Handwritten note in margin. If water talks again, just let it. Dead air. Do not adjust. College AM radio booth recording. Recovered from WQZR AM archive. Halloween_overnight_1031.wave. Plus booth cam clips. Location: small college station, graveyard slot. Halloween pledge drive. Note: primarily audio. Occasional booth camera cuts. Lava lamp, card machine, handwritten sign reads, "Don't apologize for the hum." 0 hours. Broadcast begins. You're listening to WQZR. This hour is sponsored by Rossi's Pumpkins. We're live until the sun admits it's November. Papers shush. Someone giggles in the hallway, too loud. Then hushes. Party spillover. 4:41 hours. First caller segment begins. Phones start their polite blinking. Nova plays Monster Mash ironically, then asks for night shift stories. A janitor calls, tells a story about a mop that keeps ending up wet. A nurse calls, says the vents learn your name. The laughter is warm, the kind that says we're all in on it. Then the emergency alert system bleats. 2 notes, then coughs out. The engineer, Dev, murmurs off mic. It's testing itself? He taps on the old rack like a stern parent. The EAS tries again and falls into silence like a faint. 9:51 hours. Emergency alert malfunction. Voicemail plays. Anonymous, low, rhythmic. Don't leave the car. Repeated like a hook. Nova makes a bit of it. Loop echoes. Don't leave the car over a slow beat. The kind of thing that racks up late night comments. Chat explodes. The stream has 26 viewers. Oh my god, liminal. I'm sleeping to this. Turn the lava lamp. Booth cam shows the lamp glugging like a stunned fish. On the whiteboard behind Nova, new words scrawl themselves in shaky dry erase. Return the body. Dev swears he didn't write it. 16:21 hours. Dead air incident. 5 seconds of silence. Nova, that ever happen where you can hear your house listening? Echo reply. Half beat behind. Hospital. 23:41 hours. Anonymous call received. A caller breathes for 4 seconds, then says, "Stand where you are." Then just simply hangs up. Nova smiles, professional, but her pulse scratches the mic. Dev lugs in a portable recorder, sets it by the window. Rain like rice. Far sirens. The EAS kicks in by itself again and reads a message not on any feed. Group in the dark is now in session. It lists first names, listeners who type their handles, then pauses. Jenna, it says, and the lava lamp burps a heart. 31 hours. Station disturbance escalates. Nova's voice steadies. She says, if you're driving, don't pull over just to be haunted. Keep going until a safe lot. If you're at work, take 1 sip of water. You're with us. Dev lowers the house lights. Booth cam switches to an infrared without being told. In the reflection, for 2 frames, a plastic mask peers into the glass, trying to read the weather. Dev flinches. The mask disappears. The EAS says, very quietly, "Thank you." 11 hours. Final transmission. Top of the hour. Station ID. Nova reads, WQZR 880 AM, where we keep you company. Then adds, not in copy, we won't put words over your breath. A text-to-speech bot. Whispers one last note. Leave a chair empty. We always do. She ends the shift with a track not in the system. File name, HVAC_hum_lullaby. An instrumental made entirely from the building's own hum, rearranged into melody. Listeners write the next day to ask the artist's name. However, there isn't one. Post-broadcast log. Pledge total. $66.60 cassette left on the console marked return path. Handwritten doodles in the booth log. A crane, 5 chairs, and 1 shaded darker. Archive note added later. Signal interference consistent with atmospheric anomaly. Do not erase tape. Haunted attraction GoPro sync footage recovered from haunt_reset_stack_1031.sync. 3 GoPros. Actor 12, Nurse. Actor 3, Reaper. Floor lead, Mara. Location, Blackgate Asylum seasonal haunt. Closing night on Halloween blackout maze reset after last guest's exit. Note, strobe residue, fog machine particulate, emergency lights cycling red, amber, distant midway music bleeding through plywood. 0 hours. Cameras synchronize. GoPro Nurse, a locker room painted sickly green. Actors peel latex off like sunburn. Everyone is glittered with corn syrup and talc. Floor lead Mara knocks a tune on a door, 2 short, 1 long. Reset in 5, she says. Absolute. Safety briefing fires off. Confirm clear paths. Count exits. Never chase a guest into an unlit zone. Masks off in back corridors only. Walkthrough starts. The haunt without guests looks like a backstage magic trick jangling its keys. Wall panels show screw heads and seams, but with house lights low, it becomes a maze that remembers what it pretends to be. 05:21 hours. Maze lights set to standby. GoPro Reaper. He checks his mirror gag. The mirror shows not him, but a hallway mid-show strobe. Teens, a boy raising his phone. When the Reaper turns, the hall is empty. He laughs. We're still rolling in there somewhere. He taps the mirror. It ripples like it's thinking. She counts chairs in the group therapy scene. 5 bolted down, 1 free. She tucks the free one under the table out of walk path. On the wall, a chalk sentence has appeared between sets. Stand where you are. She sighs. Artists, she says, but there's no chalk and props. 11:41 hours. System lockdown confirmed. Radio from front gate. All guests out. Clickers read 0. Doors locked. Reset begins. Animatronics to idle. Sound loops to after hours hum. They kill the fog to clear lanes. It thickens anyway, like breath that won't be coached. In the elevator drop scene, the floor trembles, though the actuator is off. The panel shows B9 in sick amber. Nope. Reaper. Big nope. Mara. Log it but keep moving. 18:31 hours. Entry into blackout maze. They step into the pitch dark segment where guests normally follow a rope. Now the rope moves on its own. A living serpent. Nurse grabs the tail. On me. The rope tugs back gentle, decisive like a child who knows a shortcut. They follow. The floor plan no longer matches Mara's laminated map. Walls take new angles. Scent machines burp autumn and formaldehyde. They emerge not where they should, but in the records room set. File cabinets, fake charts, old monitors. One screen flashes a real spreadsheet for a second. RETU, RNTO, BOD, Y list. Their own names sit in a column with timestamps marked now. Mara swallows. Cute, she mutters. 25:01 hours. Records room discovery logged. They stand in silence. Radio static builds like breathing. The nurse asks, "What is this? Marketing?" The Reaper says, "Maybe Dev is pranking us." Mara taps the screen. It flicks to black, then types by itself. Stand where you are. Fog machines flare once. A sound. Footsteps. Bearskin on plywood approaches from the seclusion wing. They're ready to call security. 33:41 hours. Contact with unknown guest. From the dark comes a figure in a hospital gown worn backwards. Cheap plastic mask, barefoot. She stands in the emergency light, head tilted as if listening to something below their voices. Nurse steps forward. The girl flinches at latex. Mara lowers her hands, palms open, the universal sign for I see you. Radio from front. Front confirms 0 guests. The voice stumbles, glitches. The masked girl beckons. They follow. She leads them into intake, where a Polaroid rests on the counter. It's a Polaroid of a kid with a cast, doodles armored thick. Fog around it is warm. Reaper reaches out and feels a breath. Mara says, "She shouldn't be here." The girl taps the photo, taps her chest, then each of them, as if to say, "Pick one, be one, stay one." 41 hours. Elevator scene activation. They decide to escort her out through staff corridors. The blackout maze disagrees, rerouting them like a dream. The elevator set dings. Its doors open on honest dark. Inside, words carved deep into plywood read, "Don't leave the car." The nurse says, "We won't." They stand. The maze settles. Outside, midway music dies. Laughter of workers counting paychecks filters through like distant applause. The emergency lights shift from red to amber. The masked girl tilts her head toward the Polaroid one last time. Then she steps into the elevator. Doors close. When they open again, only a broom and a rolled rug remain. Post-shift debrief. Fluorescents buzz over forms and clipboards. Mara writes, "No injuries, no unaccounted guests. Note, leave one chair free in group." She emails the owner to order donuts for teardown and adds, "If a guest got past sweep, she got home." Final shot. 3 helmets on a bench like skulls at recess. LED recording lights blinking out one by one until the feed is dark.